Attempt to prove that Avicenna or Ibn Sina was not a kafir. So Imam Ghazali in this book wrote against the falasifa, or the philosophers, and one of the things that he was known to do is he takfired them, right? And one of the things he does is that he says this originates from Avicenna, the whole sect, basically, right? Now, I'm not sure if he was directly saying this specific thing towards Avicenna, which is that he takfired those because they rejected the law, and they rejected the fundamentals, the Sharia, right? Not just the law, but just remember prayer, fasting, all that stuff is part of it. So they kind of rejected that. They said, "Oh, we're enlightened philosophers. We don't gotta do that no more." So here's a book from Avicenna, the Metaphysics. So in this book, let's find it. So he says this: acts of worship, their benefits, right? So if you go through this, you'll find stuff. Legislator must prescribe to be repeated at approximate. If you read in Arabic, you see the word Sharia, and you see these acts must be combined with what God brings. I don't want to read the whole thing, but the point is that he does not reject it, right? You can go through more if you want. It must be possible mixed with spreading of the law. He even says it there. Fighting for the faith. So he actually pilgrimage, worship. So he does not reject this stuff. Now, maybe some of his later followers did, but look, one of the noblest of the acts of worship, so he does not reject is, this is prayer right there, right? He does not reject the prayer. You know what I mean? So, you could say he's a heretic. Maybe he had some heretical views, right? But I don't think you can say that he was a non-Muslim. I don't think that's correct. And I'm not sure if there's more to it than that. The acts of worshiping, the benefits of these acts, law and religion, there are the causes, you know what I mean? Okay. Universal laws, you know what I mean? I guess this is like the Khalifa, I guess. So, you could see his opinions on this, that he does not reject it. People say he was a Hanafi in fiqh, which, you can be a Hanafi in fiqh and still have heretical aqidah, but it doesn't make you a kafir, right? First of legislators' acts, pertain to marriage. Clearly he accepts the Sharia of marriage, right? Legislator, once again, you know what I mean? You can keep going if you want. Right? Legislator, law. Obviously, he doesn't reject this stuff. Judges, you know what I mean? Doesn't reject the law. Concerning the caliph and the imam, the necessity of obeying him, right? So he has a bunch of descriptions regarding that in the book. How you shouldn't rebel generally. Decreeing the law. If someone secedes and lays claim to the caliph, fight him, right? So, you get the point. The point is he's clearly, I don't think he wrote this to be like, oh, look, let's just show everybody that I care about this stuff. You know what I mean? Those who oppose the law must decree waging war against them and destroying them, right? Interesting. And this is from Ibn Sina, and people always act like he was not religious or something. Legislator must impose punishments, penalties, and prohibitions to prevent the disobedience of the divine law, right? Violating the law, you know what I mean? Adultery, theft, complicity after the enemies. As for the acts that harms the individual himself, the law should contain helpful advice and warning, not go beyond the prescription of obligatory advices, You get the point. And I guess I could keep going. Right. Protecting the city, stuff like that. So, yeah. I think that's the whole book, actually. These are like summaries of each chapter. If you want to read it, you can. It's a good book. The reason I bought this book is because I always wanted to learn about metaphysics, but why not learn it from an Islamic source, right?